Welcome back, all my people. How you guys doing? We are going to talk about Creature Commandos. I want to just talk about it because it's finally over, and I decided let's wait until the season's over before we talk about Creature Commandos. And I'm gonna say I really liked this show. Now, does this give me hope for James Gunn's DCU? A little bit. Granted, I know it was a show, it's not a movie, but I feel like dipping your toes into a show first is actually a pretty smart move from James Gunn. Granted, I know we got Superman coming up in July, which I'm actually very excited for, and I'm gonna do a video of Superman in the future. I cannot wait. Creature Commando is just a misfit group, which James Gunn is very good at. That is his sandbox, without a doubt. That's like his sandbox of what he can do the best at. He's very good at making characters that you're like, I don't know if I can like them, become very likable. Arguably, this whole cast that he introduced us to are all very likable. I actually like every single one of them. I didn't dislike any of these characters, and just the progression from episode 1 to episode 7 was so good that I was actually shocked with how much I really liked this cast. That's one thing I'm going to get into is, for one, the cast is great. Characters are really fun to be around. They all have little stories of themselves that you can just like latch to. Each episode is a flashback for each character that you are introduced to, except for Rick Flag. You're not introduced to his backstory, which is fine, but the creatures for this show, you are introduced to all their flashbacks. Some of them are very like, oh shucks, that's really sad. Some of them are like, oh yeah, well, things happen. And I really like that element of this show, that you actually got to meet all these characters and grow with them. Of course, James Gunn wrote Weasel in this, and to my knowledge, he is a very big animal lover, so he's very good at writing animals. I think he's just very good at it. And Weasel, his backstory was super tragic, but so was the bride's, and so was Nina's. I actually liked Nina a lot, and the bride grew on me. They all grew on me. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, so I was just calling him the doctor because I could not remember for the life of me what his actual full name is. But he's the one that is like, can like burn through things. I really liked him. I think he was probably my favorite character. Besides Nina, I would say he was probably my favorite. He's a very good sarcastic comic relief character in the show that kind of felt needed. Now, there's a lot of elements where the show was very serious, and I really liked it. I think James Gunn's very good at setting tones of being serious and then not being serious, having a little silliness to mix in with it. I really liked it. There was a time where I just giggled because it was actually like funny. I didn't expect that going into watching Creature Commandos. I actually didn't have high expectations watching Creature Commandos because, let's be honest, I want to watch freaking Superman. So when he announced Creature Commandos, I was like, what in God's name is Creature Commandos? I am a fan of like the Universal monsters. I like those creepy monster movies and stuff. So when I got to see like Bride of Frankenstein, and then at the ending, I'm pretty sure I saw The Mummy in it. Those are all really cool things. I'm so happy I got to see some of these things. So watching Creature Commandos, I thought it was a really fun show. The plot was actually pretty good little setup. I just sat back and really enjoyed it. Now, there's a lot of elements that was sprinkled in for like Metropolis for Superman, and then you got to see the Batman cameo. So he was sprinkling a little bit of cameos to be like, oh look, there it is, you know, and that was really cool elements. I actually really liked Frankenstein in this because it's like Frankenstein's a terrifying monster, but like the whole time with Frankenstein, he's just obsessed with the bride, which makes sense because if you watch the backstory of it kind of makes sense. And his whole thought process is he's like an obsessed man, and he keeps talking about how like this is a romantic comedy, and he brought a lot of pizzazz to it, I guess I should say, for Frankenstein, which was really fun. It was just different takes of all these characters that I either have seen before or if I never seen before, and I really enjoyed all of it. I thought it was really fun, and I think this is a really good start to the DCU. I know a lot of people are not going to consider this like the start. They're going to be like, oh well, what about Superman? Yeah, it's true. Superman is definitely there. But to me, this is clearly the start because he's like, you know, he's showing us all the projects that he wants to do. And this is one of the starts, and I really like it. Right now, it's 1 for 1 for me. And if I had to rate the show out of 10, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. It's just a really fun show, and it's just what James Gunn is really good at doing for his cast. So if you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about Creature Commandos. Who is your favorite character in Creature Commandos? And do you want a season 2 of it? Let me know down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.